Hello and welcome. I'm Yvonne Davis, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the mysteries of moon magic and how I learned about moon magic in case you want to learn too, and what it is, what you can do with it, how powerful it is, how to use it, and what is the purpose of using moon magic. Just to put it simply, it's all about manifestation. It's a tool for manifestation. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to talk to you about how I learned about moon magic from a book titled Moon Magic by Dionne Fortune. So let me tell you a little bit about Dionne. The novel Moon Magic by Dionne Fortune is considered a sequel to her earlier novel, The Sea Priestess, although they don't need to be read consecutively because they're actually two very different novels with different narrators. First published in 1938 and 1956, neither The Sea Priestess nor Moon Magic have ever been out of print and are enduring favorites among readers of esoteric fiction. Almost 15 years after the main character first appeared in The Sea Priestess, Dionne Fortune wrote about her heroine, Vivienne Le Fay, again. In Moon Magic, Vivienne appears as Lilith Le Fay and uses her knowledge of moon tides to construct an astral temple of hermetic magic. The viewpoint of Lilith Le Fay is purely pagan, and she is a rebel against society, bent upon its alteration. She may, of course, represent the Freudian subconscious. The Sea Priestess has sold 32,000 copies, and Moon Magic has 25,000 copies in print. Dionne Fortune was a British occultist, ceremonial magician, novelist, and author. She co-founded the Society of the Inner Light, an occult organization that promoted philosophies which she claimed had been taught to her by spiritual entities known as ascended masters. So let's talk a little bit about Dionne Fortune and what she knew, because we can definitely learn from that. So Dionne Fortune was born Violet Mary Firth, and her birthday was December 6, 1890, which I was very excited to find out it was December 6 because that's my birthday as well. So she was a British occultist, ceremonial magician, novelist, and author. A prolific writer, she produced a large number of articles and books on her occult ideas and also authored 7 novels, several of which expounded occult themes. Fortune was born in North Wales to a wealthy upper middle class English family, although little is known of her early life. By her teenage years, she was living in England's West Country, where she wrote 2 books of poetry. After time spent at a horticultural college, she began studying psychology and psychoanalysis at the University of London before working as a counselor in a psychotherapy clinic. During the First World War, she joined the Women's Land Army and established a company selling soy milk products. She became interested in esotericism through the teachings of the Theosophical Society before joining an occult lodge led by Theodore Moriarty and then the Alpha and Omega Occult Organization. All right, so now that you have a background, you understand some of the mysterious foundations of moon magic. It really goes back to the Hermetic philosophies of alchemy and ceremonial magic and secret societies. And there really is power in this. There's a reason why people have been using this for so many years. So now that you understand how I learned about it through the novel Moon Magic by Dionne Fortune, and you know a little bit about Dionne Fortune. The next thing I want to talk about is building an altar, because that's the first thing you would do when you are planning a moon magic ceremony. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about how to build an altar. So I'm going to give you 5 simple steps to creating an altar in your home or wherever your sacred space is, because sometimes it might actually be outside. It has to be in a place that is very safe and will be undisturbed, okay? So step 1 is to find the location for your altar. Choose an area of your home that has little to no daily family traffic. Now, sometimes that's not always possible. You have to work with what you have, but you will need to clear the space and make it a space that you can use specifically for your Moon Magic ceremony, okay? So even if you have to change a space that is normally used by the family, you have to make sure that when you're creating your altar and creating that space for your Moon Magic ritual, that at that time it will be undisturbed by other people, okay? Step 2 is to choose and then cleanse the space where your altar will be. So you can do that in various ways. One way is literally to clean it, to cleanse it, to sweep. And that was one of the symbolic meanings of the broom, was to sweep out the old, sweep out all the old energy, like literally cleanse the space. And, if you have a wood floor or something, you may want to mop with wood polish. Just clean everything. Make it as nice as you possibly can, as clean and beautiful and organized as you possibly can. And then you want to get some sage and cleanse the airspace as well, okay? And you can do a ritual for cleansing the space, and it can be very simple. You can just call out to the space, move around in a circle and say, I cleanse and bless this space. I only allow divine entities into the space, okay? It can be very simple. And then after you've cleansed the space, step 3 is to choose the essential items for your altar. And I'm going to be talking about that more in this video. This video won't be able to cover everything. Later, we can talk about things like how to time your ritual to moon cycles. Perhaps a new moon would be a good time to do a new moon ritual, to bring in something new, to plant a seed, to create something new. And we actually have a new moon coming up very soon, a very powerful new moon. So that could be a really good time to do your new moon magic ceremony. So what you want to do is choose the things for your altar. Again, I'm going to give you more details on that after this introduction to the 5 steps. Step 4 is to bless your altar, and I'll probably have to do another video on that as well. And then step 5 is to bless yourself. And a lot of times it's actually really good to take a hot bath, to soak in a hot bath, maybe some scented bubble bath or scented candle, with the lights out, just relaxing in the candlelight, just to really cleanse yourself as well energetically. And sitting in a hot bath is a perfect way to do that. All right, so we will have more. This will be a multi-part series because there is a lot to cover on the subject of moon magic. Now I'm going to show you some images that will help you in terms of understanding how to create an altar. So have a look at these images and see if any of these appeal to you. For example, we have one here that has a lot of flowers, and I think for me, it kind of brings up the feeling of romance. So it depends on what kind of magic you're trying to create. So if you want to create something that has a feeling of love, passion, romance, eros, this might be a good example of a kind of altar that you would want to create. And then another possibility might be one that has a lot of elements of nature. So this is a very simple, clean altar. It does have that sense of like a cleansing, very close to nature. And there are a couple of journals in there. Probably one of them is a journal and one of them is a book of shadows. And there's a quartz stone also for cleansing the energy. So that could also be an example of an altar you might like to create. And then here's another one where there are a lot more objects on there. And what you want to do is you want to place objects on your altar that are meaningful to you. So as an example, pictures of people that are meaningful to you, or other kind of ideas or objects. Like if you're looking for a home, you could put on images of homes that appeal to you, and other objects that would relate to what it is that you are trying to manifest. And so let's look at some other examples here. Here's another one that has some occult symbols. There you see a tarot deck there. You might want to add some tarot cards to your altar if they are meaningful to you. Choose the ones that are meaningful. Candles are really helpful too for an altar. And maybe some sage or some incense, some crystals or other stones. Again, any kind of objects that are meaningful to you for whatever reason, because they represent something to you, what it is that you want to manifest and how you feel, what kind of mood or feeling you want to bring up and evoke in yourself as you're doing your ritual. Now, the most important thing to remember always is to make sure that your prayer, because a manifestation is a prayer, you want to make sure that your prayer is said like an affirmation. Make sure it's positive, passionate, personal, and present. And such as, my life is filled with love. I am in love all the time. I am in love with life. I am in love with just being in love, And so that is something that you might say and light a candle and say, I draw life and love to me. It fills my life with happiness. That's an example of an affirmation that is personal, passionate, present, and positive. And you always want it to be positive. And you would even want to add at the end of your prayer, for the highest good of all concerned. All right, so that's it for today. And we've got more information for you on how to do moon magic rituals, the mysteries of moon magic rituals, the who, what, where, when, why, and how of moon magic rituals. And I will continue to do a multi-series on this topic.